Please leave your message for 81845283882.
Hello, it's Miles Henschel again from the Freemilesmc YouTube channel. You wanted to call me back on Monday. I haven't heard from you since. I still wanted to ask about the collaboration inquiry about the motorcycle surf mount. I've wrote your company multiple emails, but still haven't heard anything back. My trip is going to start tomorrow. I still hope that I'm going to hear from you. Well, fuck, I guess we're not getting sponsored for this one. I am Miles. I grew up on the swells of central Germany, or to be more exact, the lack of said swells. In a small beautiful town, small enough that you know everyone. But too big for anyone to actually say hello. 100 years ago, the city decided for a prison instead of a university. It's a city that leaves you searching. So this is a big map of all the major surf spots in the world, as you can see, and we're going to focus on Europe. We're going to make our way from the presqu'ile de Crozon over here, along the Atlantic coast, along all the surf beaches, into Spain and through Portugal to Nazaré. And the Nazaré are the biggest surfable waves in the world. This is our goal. At least that's the dream. For now, for a start, we need to make it from here in North Germany all the way to the presqu'ile de Crozon. Over here, that's over 1,400 kilometers, with the surfboard on the side to surf our first wave. This is my Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. I gave the bike the name Bodhi.
That's Bodhi. They call him the Bodhisattva. He's a real searcher.
What's he searching for?
The ride. The ultimate ride.
I absolutely love this bike. Since I bought it, I could not let it rest. I so often had to take it out and ride it hard into the sunset. I love how it sounds, how its vintage dress makes this modern bike wobble in the curves. With its reliable engine, its upright seating position, it's perfect for this trip. Kind of a can-do-it-all machine. Perfect for having fun in any condition. Actually, with the same mentality I had around the Royal Enfield Interceptor, I chose the surfboard for the trip. It's a 7.6 long Malibu with 50 liters of float, which should be alright for my 100 kilos. I used to have a shortboard, but surfing is about catching as many waves as possible and just having fun. So I thought this is probably better for a variety of conditions. And I would have probably went with a longboard, but because I transported on the motorcycle, 7.6 was kind of the maximum I was comfortable with. So I haven't been surfing in over 2 years, but I picked up this surfboard in France while I was in home office and tried it out for one day. It went okay. I have trust in the surfboard and yeah. So let's get all the other stuff ready and then make the 1,400 kilometers all the way to the presqu'ile de Crozon and see if we can catch our first wave. It's 4 in the morning. I spent the whole day packing and now I'm finally ready to get on my trip. And in the morning, after a few hours of sleep, I will get going. So let's go. So I just found some shadow behind my surfboard. We made it out of Germany. We're now in Belgium. That is amazing, because my biggest worry was to get pulled over by the German police, because they're just not playing around with stuff like this. We still have a little bit less than 1,000 kilometers to the presqu'ile crozon, but I have to say it is really hot for autumn. Like, we're having way over 30 degrees. I didn't expect this. But so far I'm doing fine. So let's do some stretches and get back on the road. Me and Bodhi were doing good kilometers and good time, but we were running out of daylight. Every time I see the sunset, I have to think of going surfing, because I know in the west that's where the Atlantic Ocean lies. So all I have to do is to chase the ball of light until I reach my goal of surfable waves.
Bonsoir. Est-ce que vous travaillez ici?
Oui.
C'est complètement complet.
Vous avez besoin d'électricité?
Ça marche sans électricité aussi.
Ouais.
Il me faut juste un endroit pour dormir.
Pour la nuit, ouais.
Avec la moto. C'est une petite moto. Yo.
So we're back on the road. The night was good, even though it rained and it got quite cold. But we now roughly made 1,000 kilometers. And we still had 400 kilometers in front of us through the beautiful Bretagne on our way to the presqu'ile de Crozon, filled with many landmarks, with some for a questionable acquired taste and other world famous ones, like the Mont Saint-Michel. Presqu'ile means half island in French, and we are crossing over to the presqu'ile de Crozon. With that, we've reached the first goal of our motorcycle surf trip. And the day was coming to an end as well, but I still wanted to catch the first few waves. So we made our way to the camping ground where we would set up camp for this first stage of the trip. my first few tries in the water I struggled. Didn't really catch the waves, had a lot of white water and also wiped out. But I wasn't giving up, I was trying and trying. And then it finally happened, the first proper wave of this trip. What a turn. And it definitely wasn't the last. So, it's 7 in the morning, I just woke up, it's very cold, and now I will try to make my way to the beach to catch some waves, because the waves are supposed to be in the morning today.
I'm so cold from the night. It was such a cold night. I woke up early today because the surfcast said that the waves would be the best chance I would have in the morning. It says not that great conditions, but I'm very confident I can still get some stuff done, because really often the app says it's not that good and you still like have a decent time. So yeah, let's go. And there it is, the Plage La Palue, our first little spot.
So here I was, completely frozen through from the night. The surf forecast predicted 1 meter waves and said that the conditions are really poor, but I was still determined to do this, because I saw a chance in catching a wave. Small waves, but definitely good fun. Experiencing those amazing moments, surfing waves and riding my motorcycle, I felt like it was giving me the ability to let which does not matter truly slide. After this relaxed morning, I took the bike back to the camping ground to take off the surfboard mount so we could roam freely again and go to our next goal, the Île des Verges, which is supposed to have an incredibly gorgeous bay. And on the way, we took some shortcuts beside the beaten path. After making my way to the Île des Verges, I sadly realized that accessing it was impossible. Or was it? We're not supposed to be here, as you can also see on that sign. I can hear some people talking over there that are apparently doing some kind of forest work. So let's see that those people don't see us. I don't want to go completely down there because by now I am as well convinced that this is dangerous. Otherwise they wouldn't make such a big fuss about this. The guy with the dog looks serious. Because who dresses like this who doesn't obey rules? His dog is behind him, and it's also a quick dog. And he will sooner or later turn around and see me if the dog doesn't follow. Okay. Let's go down now. So we almost made it down. As you can see, this is the bay, and you're only able to access it with a kayak tour, like over there, or with one of those boats that then you can go down there. There's also a way down there to climb, but I don't feel confident enough, and if I get into trouble not making this, someone needs to pick me up from down there with a boat, and then they will ask how I got there in the first place. I'm going to head back to the bike.
Lately I've been staring at the dark. Turn my inner demons into art. Struggle with the pain inside my heart. Wish I didn't care about what they say. What you want to say, 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 what you want to
I plan on going surfing tomorrow. The waves are supposed to be quite big, but the conditions still say poor, and I don't know for what reason, but probably the waves will be quite wild and break uneven with not a lot of time in between. But that is fine, you know? Like, if you are on a surf vacation like this, you cannot really choose your conditions. So you just have to take what you get, basically. And also, we are at the Celtic Sea of France and not Indonesia. So for anyone who does a trip like this, keep that in mind. Even if the conditions are not perfect, you can always still have some good rides and amazing waves. Just takes a little bit more patience. So we now have made it to the beach. The waves don't look that great. There's a lot of onshore wind, but I'm still going to try because there are a lot of many breaking waves and maybe we can get some decent rides. And I definitely want to try that. Right now, no one really is in the water. There are a few guys in the front, but I don't think they can paddle out, which it looks like you could paddle out. Yeah, we need to see. So let's go.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You wanna stop by later? Maybe I'm gonna fix something tea. You wanna grab something from the street and bring it home? Well,
Getting out was quite hard and was filled with constant duck dives. And on top of all that, it was incredibly windy.
Quick update, we do have Hurricane Nigel in the central portions of the Atlantic staying out to sea. There is a wave later this week.
The big swells of the Hurricane Nigel were about to hit the west coast of France. That meant huge surfable waves. The only problem was, the swells are supposed to hit in Landaise, and we were 800 kilometers away on the presqu'ile de Crozon.
Take me to the water, strong buzz in my mind. Take me to the water, strong buzz in my mind. Strong buzz in my mind. Take me to the water, strong buzz in my mind. Take me to the water, strong buzz in my mind. Strong buzz in my mind. Take me to the water, strong buzz in my mind. Take me to the water, strong buzz in my mind.
Vous pouvez rentrer, hein.
Ah oui,
C'est par carte.
par carte. Oui.
Autorisé. Voilà.
Ok, merci.
Très bien, merci.
Une autre truc, j'ai un petit problème avec ma moto, mais je n'ai les outils. Oui, c'est bon maintenant. Ah. Maintenant, c'est bon.
C'est bon?
Oui,
Ça marche?
c'est mieux. Merci pour l'aide.
De rien, de rien, de rien. Ok. Vous allez voir la mer?
Oui, je vais faire une tour avec mon planche de surf jusqu'à Nazaré en Portugal.
I'm now making a short break to change the SD cards, and one thing that I really notice is if you carry the surfboard on the motorcycle, the fuel consumption goes way up. Like, we now made 140 kilometers on one tank, which is just not all that great. Sadly, we didn't make it in one day, so I had to find shelter in a motel to take the ferry next day from La Rochelle over the Gironde to avoid the city traffic in Bordeaux, as lane splitting with the surfboard on the side was quite tricky. So I now finally checked into one of those F1 hotels that they have here in France. I'm so happy. I now didn't manage to save my data yet. I will just go to bed. I'm so tired and so cold. I cannot wait.
Bonjour. 21? C'est les billets pour... Oui, ok. J'aimerais payer avec carte. So, we have just paid. Now let's get onto the boat. They seem to be very trusting here. I didn't even have to show my ticket. So, let's get into the bay of the boat. So, let's go up on deck. Okay. Oh, already leaving.
Ain't looking back, ain't looking, oh, ain't looking back, ain't looking, yeah, ain't looking back, ain't looking, oh, ain't looking back, oh, ain't looking back. Ooh, ain't looking back. Ain't looking back. Ain't looking back. Ain't looking back.
So, I just arrived at the camping spot and we're going to check out how the waves look now. I'm going to build up my tent after. The beach is only 10 minutes away on foot, so we made it in time to catch the swells of the Nigel hurricane. We're now at the sea. There are a lot of waves coming in, but as you can see, nothing really consistent. Maybe the only consistent thing is the surf report not being consistent, but I still will later try my luck and hopefully it goes all well. Standing there, I realized that the surfers already in the water were really struggling with the overhead waves. The waves were quite tall and very shallow, and would often close out completely. Even though I was scared, I still wanted to give this a try. I went all the way to catch the swells of the Hurricane Nigel. The waves were not just a lot taller than me, they also broke very hard and unpredictable. Also, the intervals in between the waves were very irregular and sometimes didn't leave me any break. Multiple times waves broke right in front of me. As soon as I resurfaced after diving through this one, the lip of the wave after hit me in the face hard. I was already able to taste blood in my own mouth while still being thrown around by the wave and hitting the sandbank. So, I've just gotten proof that surfing also is a dangerous sport, because a wave hit me in the face and I hope my teeth are okay, and I have a little bit of blood on the surfboard. I need to check if everything is good. So, today surfing didn't go that well. The waves were very, very big, and most surfers here that are here only on vacation stayed out of the water. I tried for a bit, but really quickly realized it was not for me. And yeah, I always pick such huge goals with like a trip like this and going to Nazaré and so on. And I was kind of doubting those goals today, if I will be able to complete that. And I was kind of doubting in the trip today, but I am continuing tomorrow and I will definitely continue my trip. But sometimes I put myself to question with this kind of stuff, you know? A new day and a new goal. Our next stop would be Plage, as I really wanted to explore Londres and continue my way up the coast until we finally reach Spain and Portugal.
Yeah, this be fun, boy. T'entends pas ou quoi? Si. L'amour avec un grand A, celui qu'on se sert. C'est après les mômes qu'il commence pour de vrai. Dans les débuts, c'est l'envie d'hobby. On se promet tout, et ça pour la vie. Les mots les plus doux, les projets d'avenir. Romance petit-déj au réveil dans le lit. Très attentionné, attentionné. Au flair d'une grossesse, dans la tête ça chauffe sans cesse. C'est chaud et c'est grave, mes poches. Métamorphose des envies et du corps. Tu ramènes une glace dans cet hiver froid. À 2h du mat, tu débloques ou quoi? C'est là qu'il commence pour de vrai le test. À cette étape, on j'y crois à nous deux. On se focalise sur le grand A. On se fait des kiffs, on adore ça. Tu m'as rendu fou, cet amour de ouf. Tous deux on délire. Tu me feras du foufou, je te ferai des ragoûts, tu verras ça déchire.
So, we made it to Plage. You can see it over there, over the canal. You can see there's a lot of like water in the air and mist laying over the buildings. So they're probably still from the hurricane. Very big waves coming in that are maybe a bit too much for me, I have to say.
C'est bon. J'ai vu Royal Infeld et la planche, je savais qui c'était.
This burger place is called Midi Minuit, and the guy who runs it is super nice and cool, and if you're anywhere close to Mimizan, definitely check it out. It makes the best burgers in town, and it has amazing motorcycle newspaper, and in one of those newspapers I saw a Harley Davidson build with also a surfboard on the side. How cool.
Ouais, c'est cool.
Avec ta moto Royal Enfield.
Oui, oui, Royal Enfield est génial.
Ouais, bonne idée ça, ouais. Tu peux commencer à tâcher.
C'est ici et à la moteur.
Eh ouais, ok. 650
Oui.
Oui, ok. Bonne route.
Oui, à vous aussi.
We are now out on the motorbike and we're going to have a look at Conti.
Conti Plage is filled with many surf shops that offer many surfboards from different manufacturers and also local shapers. Walking through this store, I kind of got the feeling that I need to shape my own board one day, probably a longboard or something. While pedaling out, I experienced the craziest hold down. I was underwater for 18 seconds until my head popped up again in the footage, which is very crazy. Also, the board was ragdolling and there was no tension in the leash. In conditions like that with 2-meter waves, this is super rare. There was no tension in the leash at all. I didn't know where up and down is, but I somehow made it through. After working up the courage to pedal into a big wave, I realized how big they are and how shallow. I realized I had no water underneath me and fell off the lip of the wave and didn't have the balls to land this drop. Closer to the beach, I found one peak that I felt comfortable surfing. There was just one problem. The current was super strong. Like, I had about 2 tries of trying this peak and then I had to walk quite far up the beach again. My tactic was kind of to pedal out, get drafted into that zone by the current and then give my 2 tries. The conditions calmed down a bit, and the peak that I had completely for myself still was the only peak, and all of a sudden it was super crowded. Some locals were a bit butthurt, and then I decided to go out also because my tricep was hurting quite badly for unexplainable reasons, so I went home. Today's Saturday doesn't start all that well. I have strong pain in my right arm, and I suffer from probably an infection in my arm from a hematoma, and I now need to figure that out. It's quite big. I can show it to you here. Yeah, no surfing and motorbike riding with that one. I'm quite worried. I'll try to see the doctor today, so that's on the plan first. Il me faut parler avec un docteur. Peut-être il me faut antibiotika. I've got prescribed antibiotics, and I will hope that they help, and hopefully everything will be fine in a few days. I will need to take them for up to 10 days now, and hopefully everything will be fine. The antibiotics allowed me to continue, and our next goal was the Basque country. And our first stop there would be the beautiful little city of Biarritz.
Let's make our way to the Basque country. So we now made it through this little hell that can be traffic in Basque country. I think Biarritz is a really beautiful city, and kind of a little secret tip, like you don't hear that much about Biarritz, but I think it's one of the highlights in France actually. Let's park the motorcycle over here. So let's reverse into this, because I already know that there's no way in pulling the motorcycle out of this one. It's in general quite good travel tip. If you see a really inclined road, you need to park in a way that you can like back out with the motorcycle again, because it's really easy to underestimate how shitty it can be to then have to lift the motorcycle out of there again. Let's make our way there on foot. I mean, I can leave that like this here. I've locked the surfboard to the bike. I mean, if someone truly wants it, it will not stop them, but at least, so let's go.
For any questions or information, please contact reception desk at the Hotel Marbella. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. J'ai réservé une chambre sur booking.com. C'est pour les hôtels à l'Alisier, à côté de cet hôtel.
Oui, 2 petites minutes et j'arrive.
Ok, pas de problème.
Mario!
Yeah.
Is the room number 44 on the first floor?
So this is not a fifth set of stairs. That's a wild interpretation of first floor. But yeah. Okay. It was the fifth floor instead of the first. But that's all good. Maybe we'll have a great view. Let's have a look. No, we don't.
Right now we are going to make our way to the Côte de Basque beach. It looks today like there are way better conditions for longboards, and there we have this beautiful little castle on the top of the beach. It's probably the most crowded lineup I've seen on this whole trip. Fuck, the exhaust is fucking hot. So let's pull my leg out first. Well, we made it without touching any of the bars.
Biarritz as a town really feels like the location of a James Bond movie. There's a lot to see. Like for example this gorgeous cemetery in the middle of the sea. Also Biarritz can astound with its surf culture and beautiful architecture. I enjoyed Biarritz incredibly much, and after a long day I still went to a bar and had a really good time socializing. But all good things must come to an end, so I continued the next day to Spain with the goal of making it to Zatraust. We made it to Spain. Zatraust, our first spot, is not the most exciting town, but is home to some pretty good waves. Also, I found a really amazing hostel, and the waves the next day were supposed to be amazing.
Why keep you hiding where the sun is dark? It's undefined, want to know where you are. Why keep you hiding where the sun is dark? The sun is dark. Why keep you hiding where the sun is dark? It's undefined, want to know where you are. Why keep you hiding where the sun is dark? The sun is dark. The sun is
and we have a really long day on the road in front of us. But first of all, we need to get going in this hostel. I need to pack my stuff. So let's go.
As you can see, I catched a few lefts and a few rights, and it was just really good fun just going up and down the wave. I had a really good time. I also checked out, I think, Paga Beach. I hope I pronounced that correctly. That is the nicest left-going wave of Europe. Sadly, the surf wasn't up, but there was an amazing graffiti. So, and right now the waves are not that good anymore, so we are going to use that chance to explore the mountain ranges of the Atlantic coast of Spain.
And my goal was the Picos de Europe.
A shame, think something new under the sun. You can't take back some things you already done. No. You blame things that you do on somebody else. No. But they all see is you need help.
And we are now at the beginning of the Pico de Europa National Park. As you can see, the views are amazing. So we have about 175 kilometers to go of basically just this, like just roads like this, a lot of turns. Ooh, some horses crossing the road. Hello. Oh, what a cutie. Ooh. Hello. You have quite big horns. I don't want to get to know you.
Things that you do on somebody else. No. But they all see is you need help. But still you try so hard to cover up your games. You try so hard, hoping that one day something gon' change. You waste all of your time covering up your tracks.
So, those over there are the Pintos de Europe, those mountain ranges. Nothing here in English, so. But apparently somehow the ocean over the years caused those mountains. Maybe that's wrong because I cannot read the text. So, I'm hungry. Let's go. I earlier saw there's supposed to be a little town at the end of this road. Super beautiful to look at. Just how wild those peaks look. It's really crazy. Well, now we're truly getting a good look. Also, the roads here are not the best. This is very steep downhill. The thing is, we also have to get back up here. What a little beautiful town with all the cobblestone. I think down here it goes to where the vans and stuff are standing. So let's have a look at the town first.
I just talked to some of the locals here, and apparently if I buy something at the supermarket, I am allowed to go wild camp behind the supermarket. So we're going to do that now.
If I show up, will you show me right down? If I make you laugh, will you give me some time? 'Cause I know that a girl like you could be falling in love with just about anyone. if I show up, will you show me right down? If I make you laugh, will you give me some time? 'Cause I know that a girl like you could be falling in love with just about anyone.
So, I just woke up at the Picos de Europe. It is really fucking cold here. The night was very cold, I had problems sleeping. But last night in a bar, I've met someone that I would like you to meet too. It's my first time interviewing actually someone, so...
Cool. We can go slow. I'm not very good at interviews anyways.
Yeah. I actually here in the mountains close to the Picos de Europe met someone who's doing the same thing that I'm doing. If you would mind, introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Britton. I'm from the United States. I'm 27. I'm a software engineer and surfer. Just got into motorcycle riding and I decided to do a big motorcycle trip down the coast of Europe with my surfboards. So yeah, here I am.
That is so cool, because that is kind of the same thing that I am doing, and it's like I thought I would be the only one attempting this, and it's so nice meeting someone else that does the same thing. So you chose as your bike a Royal Enfield Himalayan. Mm-hmm. How's that going for you so far?
It's going great. Honestly, I shipped it from the United States, and it started up. I mean, there was a few battery issues, but it started up just fine. I took it around just like 300 miles back in the States. So yeah, brand new bike, everything's running great. No complaints really for me.
That sounds really good. How did you mounted your surfboard to the bike? Because I went with a mount that's integrated into the frame.
Yeah, so all I did was, so it comes with these frame, I don't know what you call them, just like frame attachments, and I bought a moped rack actually. Yeah, so got a SUP arm, which is just a bigger extension.
Okay.
So I can fit 2 surfboards and a surfboard bag, so it all fits in here pretty nicely. The only thing is it sits a little low, so whenever I'm turning left, I can't lean into it, so that's a little bit of a bummer. But otherwise, yeah, it's good. The weight is fine. I distribute it with a bag over here and a bag on the other side, so yeah, all my weight is balanced and works out.
That is actually so cool and so nice seeing another bike doing the same. And yeah, thank you for your story of doing the same trip, kind of. So
yeah, for sure.
Really happy to meet you.
Yeah, stoked.
So that was kind of my first interview on this channel. He's going for a hike now, and I have to continue down my road because I don't have that much time, sadly. But we will make our way today to Galicia, and I will show you the town in a minute, but first I have to take down my tent. And yeah, this motorcycle surf trip thing is just so cool. I just wish I had more time, or could do like a constant trip like this.
And I was waiting in the undertow, said a drip that fell away like bones, unaware where my heart would flow. I was waiting in the undertow.
So now finally the first few sunbeams have come out, and before going to Galicia, I still want to show you the city here, because that is quite beautiful. Back on the road, I continued my way through the Picos de Europe National Park on my way to Galicia. Talking with Britton and looking at the map made me realize I had a problem. I was running out of time. At this point it was only 9 days until I had to return to work. But I was still quite far away from Nazaré. I was a bit envious of Britain, but like in a good way, because he still had 3 months on his trip. And when continuing my way to Galicia, I had strong back pain, and from traveling every day, I felt really run down. So I am now in my hotel room. It's 10 in the evening. I will go to bed now so I can recover a bit. My back still hurts, and that's the thing. Like if you're on the road like this, like even small things can sometimes become a lot of work. Like I earlier took 2 hours to organize food. First I wanted to go to the supermarket, and then there were 2 supermarkets in Google Maps, and then they turned out not to be real. Like there was just no supermarket, and I had to go to the next town and get a pizza, and after all that was done, basically 2 hours were gone. So yeah, that's sometimes how it is. From the hostel that I'm currently staying, the owner rented me a 8-foot long longboard. It's a soft top, and it has a lot of liters of float, I think up to 80. And I'm just all in all really interested about this because I always wanted to try a longboard, and in conditions like this is basically perfect. So I'm really happy to try this out. So let's go. As you can see, the waves are quite small, but I think I brought the perfect board for those conditions. So it was a really good call to pack this board.
You say you wanna kiss me till the morning, till the light, the light. I wish that I was here for more than just one night, one night. Losing track of time, dreaming under stars above. Oh. It makes me feel so high, that's why I'm crazy for your love, your love, your love. I'm getting lost in your love, your love, your love. I'm getting lost in your love. The way you move, your attitude, that's all I need to get me in the mood. I wanna disappear with you, baby, I am good. You're all I need to get me in the mood. You say you wanna kiss me till the morning, till the light, the light. I wish that I was here for more than just one night, one night. Losing track of time, dreaming under stars above. Oh, it makes me feel so high, that's why I'm crazy for for your love, your love, your love. I'm getting lost in your love, your love, your love. I'm getting lost in your love. The way you move, your attitude, that's all I need to get me in the mood. I wanna disappear with you, baby, I am good. You're all I need to get me in the mood.
This was an incredible experience. Surfing in crystal clear water with not a single person in sight on a warm day somewhere in Spain is absolutely unbeatable. The amount of peace I had while surfing was something that I haven't experienced like this in years. It was very good.
We're now off to the city because I'm going to get myself a pizza for the second time in the last 2 days because I'm tired and I just want some food and I still need to get some work done. Finally some pizza. Let's go. So we're now getting going here in Galicia and we will now make our way to Portugal, our final country during this trip. So we are going over to Portugal. This is the bridge across the border. Like this river separates Portugal and Spain. How cool. After more than 5,000 kilometers on this trip, we finally made it to the other side. And there you can see Portugal.
Having arrived in Portugal, I wanted to make my way to the beach. But when arriving, I realized it was all just a bit too much. I was expecting too much of myself. The waves looked good, but there were many people in the water, and I just was too exhausted from filming and from constantly looking at the weather report, surfing, getting wet, being on the motorbike, and also I had to be back to work in 5 days. I wish I would have just been able to take a break from a time standpoint, but I was not able to do that. So I decided to go to my final goal of the trip, Nazaré.
So, this is it. This right there is supposed to say biggest wave in the world, but half of the sign got ripped off by the wind. So let's go, let's have a look at it. So, this is it. This is Nazare. This is the spot that you all know from the viral videos where the big waves are coming in. Right now they're down there. There are some, I would say, quite big waves, but they're still surfable. They're probably maybe double overhead. Yeah, but they're all breaking really wildly because we have strong onshore wind. Yeah, let's see if we try that in a minute. First, let's see that we made it to our goal. Nazare. Crazy. The lighthouse that everyone sees in the videos. How cool. Everything is kind of calm. But over here, you have many different beach breaks. The waves that are coming in down there, they don't look that big on video, but if you try to surf them, they are very solid. They're probably like to what we experienced in Lacano, where I got hit in the nose so badly from one of those waves. So yeah. So we're now directly at the lighthouse. It is crazy windy here. Like, it's so windy that I'm careful of standing close to the edge.
So, this is it. After thousands of kilometers on the motorcycle and many waves we surfed together, we finally made it to our final goal, Nazare. It was so incredible standing on this cliff and looking at this incredible nature site. The waves coming in were so impressive. Even though those waves don't look like the waves online, you have to keep in mind, filming waves in a way that they look huge is very difficult. Everyone who has ever tried to film himself surfing with a GoPro knows how small 6 foot, 7 foot waves can look on a camera. And also the viewing habits when it comes to surfing are completely out of proportion. And if you look at this from a realistic perspective, those waves are absolutely huge. This reindeer figure beautifully marks this final goal of our trip. To get here and to make this trip cost me a lot of energy, and I was very burned out at the end of it. This is something that is a part of trying to make it on YouTube, but it's also a part of surf trips. I know many surf trips that ended with people just being absolutely over it, and it's also not the first trip for me that ends like this. So if you are on a surf trip and you feel like this can be very normal. It's something that kind of goes along with this. Managing to go on a trip like this while also managing normal life can just be very tough. Nevertheless, I still tried to go surfing in Nazare, but when I made it to the beach and the sky cleared a bit and it wasn't raining anymore, I fell asleep on the beach. I was just done. And I decided I was not in the shape to surf waves that are so big that I haven't surfed anything comparable in quite some time. I think this was the right call, so I made my way to Lisbon.
So, I will need to see your passport, please.
Yeah, give me a second. I need to put down my helmet. My stuff is wet, so... When being in Lisbon, I gave myself a mental break and rented my dream bike, the Honda Rebel 1100, and I had an absolute blast riding that bike. And on my last day on this trip, I rode that bike over the Red Bridge in Lisbon that also, I think, inspired the Golden Gate Bridge, and it was so beautiful and such a beautiful end to this trip. At the end I was incredibly exhausted, but I was so happy that I did this trip and that I managed to see all those places and surf all the waves on the way and successfully pulled off a motorcycle surf trip. It is something that I definitely would be open to doing again, but on a smaller scale. All in all, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would be very happy if you would subscribe, and I also have the link to my Patreon in the description, as this has basically been the most ambitious project on my channel to date. And I have to give special thanks to my already existing Patreons, and I hope that I see you soon again on this channel with my next motorbike trip.